Have you been experiencing vaginal bleeding after sex? If this is something that has affected you or something you want to know more about, then you must watch this video. Usual thing for one to experience vaginal bleeding after sexual intercourse, or post-coital bleeding, which is the medical term to describe this. This could actually be due to problems affecting the cervix or the uterus or some other factors too, and we're going to be discussing the causes of this. What are the causes of bleeding after sexual intercourse? The first one here will be sexually transmitted infections like chlamydia or gonorrhea. So basically, these infections can cause inflammation of the cervix and it can cause bleeding after sex. Also, some other sexually transmitted infections like genital herpes or syphilis can cause genital sores that can make one to bleed after sexual intercourse. Secondly, friction or vigorous sexual activity can cause bleeding after sex, especially in cases of inadequate lubrication. So when the vagina is dry and there is no lubrication, it can cause minor, when the person is having sex, it can cause some small cuts or tears in the vagina that can cause bleeding. So in cases like this, we advise people to use the water-based lubricants and also try doing like some foreplay before sexual activity so that the person can be aroused, and this can prevent the person from having these injuries and the person wouldn't have bleeding during sex. Cervical polyps, which are basically abnormal small growths in the cervix, can also cause vaginal bleeds after sex. Then the fourth point here would be cervical ectropion. So here, the cells of the cervix become visible on the outside and it can usually cause vaginal bleeds after sex. Then uterine prolapse, which is basically when the uterus and the cervix protrudes or falls out through the vagina. So this case is usually something that may require surgical intervention for severe cases. And also when people do some form of pelvic exercises, it can also help to strengthen the pelvic muscles and help to control this condition. Another point would be vaginal dryness during menopause. So when people have vaginal dryness during menopause, is basically due to the low estrogen level in the body. And when they also put in some chemicals from the feminine hygiene products that they use into the vagina, it can also predispose one to being at risk of bleeding after sex. Then people that take antidepressants and some anti-estrogen drugs, it can affect them also and can cause bleeding after sex. It's very important for you to take note of all this, and when you experience bleeding after menopause, known as the postmenopausal bleeding, you should see your gynecologist, because this is usually a warning sign and it could mean that the person may have endometrial or uterine cancer. Lastly, people with cervical cancer or uterine cancer could also have bleeding after sex. That will be all we'll be discussing for today. Thank you for sticking to the end of this video. If you did learn anything, let me know in the comment section. If you also have any questions or things you would want me to discuss later in subsequent videos, do let me know in the comment section as well. And we'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye!